Hi guys, welcome to today's video. So I am very excited to dive in today. We are doing must try makeup. This is stuff that I love, like love anything that I've used before, and I know how good it is. And then on top of it, I'm also using makeup that is new to me, trying it out for the first time, but based on other people's reviews, I kind of know I'm gonna love it already. So I'm putting together an entire colorful summer must-have, must-try makeup look. We have so many amazing products here. We have a lot from ColourPop, we have Say Beauty, Ole Henriksen, we have some new indie brand stuff, some products I received when I went to the YouTube Beauty Fest. So yeah, let's just play, put a look together, try stuff that I know I love, try some new stuff and see if we love it together. But before we dive into today's video, make sure to subscribe to the channel, hit the little notification bell right next to the subscription button, and you'll be notified every single time I post. I post every single day. You do not want to miss out. So without any further ado, guys, let's dive into today's video. Okay, so starting out today, we are going in with the Ole Henriksen Strength Trainer Peptide Boosting Moisturizer. So I was so excited to receive this from YouTube Beauty Fest because I know a while back Tati and Manny both reviewed this and loved this. There is so many amazing ingredients in this, like peptides, which is the new thing everybody loves, collagen, hyaluronic acid, but on top of it, it is a gel-based moisturizer that actually acts almost as a hybrid moisturizer and primer in one. So it definitely has a more firm gel-like consistency, as you can see. So we're gonna start with this to moisturize and prime the skin. This has a super beautiful feel to it right out of the gate. The smell is not overwhelming at all. It's very subtle and soft, but wow, that gave beautiful hydration to the skin, and it definitely has a gorgeous slip to it. Now we're using a new brow product from ColourPop. There's moisturizer on my hands, I can't get the cap off. So this is the new ColourPop Brow Pencil. They sent me the shade Dark Brown. I'm hoping this isn't too dark for me. I like it already because we have a super microfine tip, and then we have a spoolie on the other end, which I love spoolies coming with an eyeshadow product. Wow, okay, that filled the brow really beautifully. It's not too waxy of a formula. It's also not too hard. You get a beautiful color payoff with this. The color's not too dark too. The dark brown, I believe this is yes, more of an ashy color, which I really like. But I like it because you can get hair-like strokes, but then even as you deposit it, the spoolie still allows it to blend away without smudging. So that is really pretty. Alrighty, next up we are doing eyes. So I finished filling the brows. I just primed my lids with a little bit of the Juvia's Place concealer. Obsessed with this, we'll talk about it later. Set everything with a little translucent powder, and now we are going to be doing this gorgeous pinky golden eye look with the brand new ColourPop One and Done palette. Look at this color story. I mean, I absolutely adore ColourPop palettes as it is. I think the quality is so amazing, let alone how affordable it is. So let's go ahead and dive in. To start out in the crease, we are diving into the shade City Limits, and we're gonna blend this out in our crease. ColourPop shadows truly blend like butter. They are just one of the most beautiful formulas out there, and I honestly can't believe the price point of their palettes for how gorgeous these blend out. Now we're gonna go in with the shade High Roller, which is this gorgeous, just bright hot pink. And this shade we are gonna stamp on the outer half of the eyelid, a little bit into the crease, and then once you feel like most of the product is off of your brush, very lightly start bringing this in. Not necessarily in the crease, almost. I mean, it'll go where you want it to go, but just put it in this crease. But the reason we're putting this here is because, as you can see on the other eye, where we have the gold, we just want the pink kissing out above that gold. So once you feel like you have almost all the product off your brush, you can start softening the edge a little bit. But my advice with more intense colors like this is put it in the general area that you want it, like this, and then stop. And now we're gonna switch back to the first brush we used with nothing on it, or whatever's left on it, I should say. And we're actually gonna use that to soften the harder edge of the pink. This is called blending color with color because it's really going to prevent the pink from getting too high and blown out and covering this City Limit transition shade we started with. All right, now we're gonna go in with the shade You Bet, and I'm gonna take this on my finger just because I think, honestly, most shimmer shades apply better with the finger. And we're gonna press this on the inside half of the eyelid as our base before we go in with a liquid shadow. I like to do that just because even if the liquid shadow is really good, I just think this gives a nice base underneath to not have to worry about any patchiness or bare skin bleeding through the liquid shadow. All right, now with our liquid shadow, this is from Pop Beauty. This is in the shade Naked Glitz, and these liquid shadows, you guys, are unbelievable. You have to try these. So we're gonna go and carve out our crease. So that's one layer on, and now I'm just using my finger to soften the outer edge here and blend it with that pink so it doesn't dry too blunt. And now we're just gonna let this dry down a bit before we go in with our second coat. But look at that. Oh, liquid gold. Okay, now we're gonna go in with the shade These Boots on my finger, this shimmer pink, and we're going to blend right in between where we stopped the liquid shadow and where we did the matte pink on the out half, just to marry everything together. See how that gave us like a gradient effect of that gold seamlessly going into that outside pink? And now I'm actually gonna dip into the darker gold in this palette, which is High Horse, again on my finger. And now we're gonna put this right in between the shimmer pink and the gold, right in the dead center. So I deposited most of it. I'm gonna switch to a clean finger and just pat this. And now we have that bright liquid shadow fading into the darker gold, into the shimmer pink, into the matte pink. Now to finish things up, I'm dipping into this shade The West on a very fine brush. And we are going to just add a little of this chocolate brown, real low and deep here on the outer third lash line, a little bit into this outer socket crease. And now, same thing as I mentioned before about blending color with color. Once I feel like I have it stamped and opaque where I want it, I'm gonna go back in with High Roller right here and use this to blend out the brown, because I also wanna just punch up this really hot pink on the crease, because sometimes it just gets kind of blent away when you go in with all your other shadows. And yes, you guessed it, I'm switching back to my very first brush that we used, City Limits, the transition shade, just to now blend out that pink. It's all about blending slowly and working your way up to make everything look like a very cohesive, almost gradient sunset. Now I'm gonna go in and clean things up with a makeup wipe. This is why I always start with the eyes, so I can clean up any eyeshadow or glitter fallout under the eyes with a makeup wipe. Because if I had started with my complexion, yes, maybe I could have been cleaner when I was applying it, but why not do it this way? Because then you don't need to worry about messing up your complexion. Alrighty guys, now I popped on some mascara. This is the Clio Kill Lash Mascara. They have a couple different ones. This is specifically in Super Proof Mascara Extreme Volume. I'm obsessed with this. The brush is nice and big. But honestly, the reason I love it so much is because it's a thinner formula. It's not watery, it's very silky, and it really does lift and build up the lashes. I only have mascara on right now. I'm always wearing lashes because my lashes are so like unremarkable, and this mascara like blows it out of the water. Alrighty, lashes are on. These lashes are stunning. Like, I love lashes that most of the bulk is on the outside, so it doesn't cover your shadow, but gives that lift to the face. That most of the bulk is on the outside, but gives that lift to the eye. And now for our base, we went in with our Ole Henriksen already, but before we go in with our foundation, or we are using a tinted moisturizer today, I'm so excited to finally try the Glow Super Gel from Say Beauty. This has been like so viral. Everybody loves this. And especially that I'm going in with a more lightweight tinted moisturizer today. I want to add this dewy base underneath to kind of just even out the skin tone. So it is very lightweight. Let's go ahead and apply this. Wow, so glowy is not an understatement. Look at the glow this gave the skin. But the benefit of something like this is when you're going in with a lightweight foundation or tinted moisturizer on top of it, you're getting this light diffusion from underneath, which is actually gonna make it look like you have more coverage on. The formula of this is really beautiful. It feels so hydrating. And there is a gorgeous slip to the skin, so I'm really hoping that that just makes our tinted moisturizer look beautiful. For my base today, I am going in with my favorite tinted moisturizer of all time. This is the ColourPop Pretty Fresh Hyaluronic Acid Tinted Moisturizer. This truly is one of the most beautiful tinted moisturizers I have ever used. The reason I love this so much is because it gives a beautiful coverage all the way from like super sheer, but you can build this up and get gorgeous coverage on the skin, which you'll see. The other reason is almost the finish that it goes on. It has this tackiness that you really know it's gonna last a while. And months ago when I tried this for the first time, I can kind of tell right away whether a formula is gonna wear well based on the just way it feels as I'm applying it. So I actually started using this. This had to be almost a year ago now on brides and bridesmaids, and let me tell you, I use this on so many clients who want that super light second skin coverage, and there isn't anybody this doesn't work on. Oily skin, dry skin, mature skin, it is. And when I put it on people, they end up asking me like, what is that? I need to buy it. So I'm going in with the shade Light 8N. That is one pump. As you can see, it's a more watery formula. So whenever I'm going in with this super lightweight sheer product like this, I do like to color correct a bit just to hide the darkness, because we're obviously not getting super crazy coverage from a tinted moisturizer. So I do like to color correct a bit. This is the LA Girl Pro Conceal in the shade Peach Corrector, Favorite Corrector. And I'm just gonna blend this out with a buffing brush. Now look how much that concealed just the dark shadow under here. This is also perfect if you have any kind of sunspots, even dark circles under the eye. That LA Girl is mwah, to die for. Now we're gonna go in with our tinted moisturizer. Let me take a little bit. This is one pump, and deposit this around half of the face so you can see the difference. Okay, this is the tinted moisturizer blended out all over the skin, and another reason I love it is because it's buildable. So I'm gonna take what's left on the back of my hand, and anywhere I have a little redness, let's go ahead and build it up a little bit. Oh, it's so beautiful. All right, now the foundation is on. We're going in with concealer. This is another must try for me. I recently picked this up in a lighter shade. I bought it for darker shades in my kit, and then I just was like blending it out on clients, and it was so gorgeous. I'm like, why don't I have a shade for myself? This is the Juvia's Place Concealer, and I am wearing the shade 19. This is one of the best concealers I've ever used. It's so full coverage, so creamy, so hydrating, it's to die for. And I am going to do a little bit under the eye and blend this out with my beauty sponge. Another reason I love this concealer so much is I love concealers that look gorgeous, not only on the under eye, but even everywhere on the face, especially when you're doing a look like this with a tinted moisturizer. If you need to build up coverage anywhere else on the face that maybe the tinted moisturizer isn't covering, you can put this where you need it, and it just gives the most stunning coverage. Look at the coverage of this on this side compared to over here. It's just one of the most gorgeous concealers. Still has that light diffusion. It's so pretty. Now that the concealer's blended out, we're gonna set everything, and I wanna show you one of my favorite powders that I think is slept on so much. This is the Dermablend Loose Setting Powder. This to me is honestly like as good as the Huda Beauty, the Kimchi Chic Puff Puff Pass Setting Powder. This is so good, and I just feel like people don't people sleep on it. All right, now on a fluffy brush that the under eyes are set, I'm just gonna take that powder and set the rest of the face. I personally get shiny everywhere, so I just like to set the entire complexion. All right, this next product is no surprise to anybody. It's everywhere, everyone loves it. This is the One Size Turn Up the Base Powder Foundation in the shade 4. And I love this because it just gives me the littlest bit of coverage to oomph things up where I need it without having to use a ton of liquid. And it almost just gets my base flawless before we go in with any kind of bronzer and blush. I bought this in the shade 4 for the complexion, and I actually bought it in the lightest shade for my under eyes because like that's how smooth this powder is, that you can literally use it under the eyes to brighten and it doesn't accentuate any texture. This next product I am so excited to try. This is new from ColourPop. This is their matte bronzer. That's all it's called. This is in the shade Aviva Beach. Look at these bronzers, guys. Tell me this isn't giving you full Marc Jacobs vibes. Like, not only is the bronzer gorgeous, it's such a neutral, beautiful tone. It's matte and buttery, but it comes in this huge, huge pan, gorgeous mirror, and I love all ColourPop products because this pops out and you can actually take the powder out and replace it when it's done. So it's like super good for recycling, etc. But I love a silky matte bronzer because I'm someone who has just a lot of texture and textured skin. So I don't really like to use bronzers with a lot of luminosity because I think it accentuates it. But I've never put this on the skin. I've watched reviews. Allie Glines is the one who really turned me on to this when I watched her review. I'll link her channel below. But this, honestly, it blew me away and I've been dying to try it. So we're going to take this on our fluffy brush, tap off the excess, and get to building. Oh yeah, this is gorgeous. Look at this already. The formula of this, actually, I wonder if they used a similar formula to their powder foundations that they just came out with, because those are also unbelievable. I use those on bridal clients all the time as well. And it gives, those powder foundations, honestly, to me, are like the only ones I've ever found that rival the One Size powder foundation. And this is almost like, it's hard to describe, but not only is it building up the bronze, obviously, which we want it to, it's like giving me coverage like the way a powder foundation would. So that is a huge, huge pro. Now for blush, we're going in with one of the new Benefit blushes. This is in the shade Shelly. It is so, so pretty. It's this gorgeous, like, peachy pink. Okay, wow, these are definitely pigmented. Like, you really do not need a lot. But I wasn't expecting, because it doesn't look this way in the pan. It has a beautiful glow to it. I hope you can see that on camera. Wow, that is stunning. All right, now before we highlight, I'm gonna carve out my contour and clean things up. And whenever I'm using a very light coverage foundation or tinted moisturizer like we are today, I like to use a powder to carve out my contour that gives a little bit more coverage. So I'm gonna go in with the Maybelline Fit Me Loose Powder in the shade 10. I love this powder and it gives gorgeous, like, coverage to the skin when you wipe it away. If I was wearing a fuller coverage foundation, I would just go in with a translucent powder, but I'm gonna dip a little bit of this into my beauty sponge, and to sharpen things up, we're gonna take our beauty sponge. I like to go about halfway right here in the ear and connect it to the outside of the mouth. Wipe it down just to highlight the jawbone. But not only is that sharpening things up, as you see, it's going to give a lot of lift and just coverage to the face after we swipe it away. A little down the sides of the nose just to snatch the nose a bit. And now for highlighter, I have two must-haves that are just to die for. One is a little bit more natural. This is the Essence Pure Nude Highlighter. So gorgeous if you want that, like, very natural, very subtle glow. And then this one is a little bit more of like a blinding oomph. This is the Revlon Skin Lights Highlighter, and this specifically is in the shade 201 Daybreak. So I'm gonna use both so you can see how they look on the skin. Oh, this literally just gives the most beautiful, soft, natural glow to the skin, especially if you're someone like me that has a lot of texture on my cheeks. I don't always want to use something that's like super blinding, let alone if it has glitter or anything like heavy in it, because it just accentuates all of that texture. But now on the other side, let me clean my brush. Let's go in with the Revlon Skin Lights. This one has a little bit more of a golden tone to it. And I always like to blend it out with my finger just to really warm it up and melt it into the skin. Oh, and as you can see, this one is much more blinding. Like, look at that. I'm gonna use the Revlon to highlight my Cupid's bow. I don't put any highlighter on my nose because I have way too many pores. I don't want to accentuate all that. All right, I finished up the lower lash line by using this lighter pink shade Spur Thing and the darker pink high roller. All I did with the lighter pink is take it all the way on the bottom and the darker pink on the outside half. Popped on some bottom lash mascara and put the Revlon Skin Lights highlighter in my inner corner. But now, last but not least, for lip, this is a product I got from the YouTube Beauty Fest in LA and I fell in love with them. These are from Citizen Cosmetics. I believe that's how it's pronounced. It's CTZN. And I love this product so much because one side is a lip gloss and the other side is a lipstick. I loved reapplying this when I was in LA because it's just the best of both in one, and they have an unbelievable shade range of nudes. And then we have a lip liner by them in the shade Sands. So we are going to start with the lip liner. This lip liner is amazing too. It glides on like an absolute dream. Okay, that is the lip liner. Now we're gonna go ahead and put on the lipstick. The lipstick formula is so, it's so good. It's such a comfortable matte. And now we are going to do the lip gloss. Actually, one more thing I forgot. I got the Kosas, what is this called? Air Brow Clear Brow Gel. I want to finish with that. I'm always looking for good clear brow gels. So let's see how this performs. I love the small like applicator on this. The spoolie is really small, so I feel like I can be really detailed with it. But I want this to dry down a bit to see how well this locks the brows in place. But on that note, that is it, guys. That is the final finished look. This was so fun to do. The skin looks gorgeous, and I just love doing a look that is a lightweight product, a lightweight foundation, tinted moisturizer, but still gives you that kind of full glam if you want. You can totally dial this back and do something more natural if you want, but I just love these products. Out of everything I tried, I love the ColourPop One and Done palette. This is so good. You honestly can't go wrong with any ColourPop palettes. We have the Benefit blush. This was incredible in this new shade. I don't know if the formula is any different, but my word, for summer, the glow this gives you is to die for. One of the best hits of this entire video for me was the ColourPop bronzer. This is incredible. Like, the silkiness of it is just gorgeous, and I can't believe how much bronzer you're getting. Like I said, this is so like Marc Jacobs vibes. Then we have the Say Beauty Glow, what is this? Glowy Super Gel. This was incredible. I mean, you can see again, the radiance underneath the tinted moisturizer is to die for. I understand why this went viral. The Ole Hendrickson, we have the Strength Training Peptide Boosting Moisturizer. This was incredible. My makeup looks amazing on the skin. I've had this on for a very long time now, believe it or not. I've taken breaks in between filming this video, and this just looks gorgeous. It's not making me excessively oily in the T-zone, which I love. It really does have almost that primer-like feel that Tati and Manny were talking about, so I understand why this is so good. And like I said, the ColourPop Tinted Moisturizer, the Pretty Fresh Hyaluronic Acid. This is my favorite tinted moisturizer of all time. As you can see, the coverage is just insane. You could blend this out as sheer as you want or build it up to something as glam as this. Like, can you believe this is tinted moisturizer? It's just so great. And the fact that there's hyaluronic acid in it and has such a beautiful finish for summer. Like I've said, I've tried this on so many different clients who have tons of different skin types, and every single one, it wears like a dream. It's just to die for. That is it for today's video, guys. Thank you so much for watching. This was so fun to do together. Make sure to sound off in the comments any like must-have Holy Grail products you love. I would love to go through. I really read like almost all the comments to see if you guys suggest any good products. So leave them in the comments down below. Thank you so much for watching. This was so much fun. Make sure to subscribe to the channel. If you are already subscribed, hit the notification bell right next to the subscription button and you'll be notified every single time I post. As I said, I post every day. You do not want to miss out. Wherever you guys are, I hope you are happy, safe, and healthy, and I will see you on the next video.